Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning for how artificial intelligence is redefining CRM. We're actually really excited about this topic because a lot of our customers have been asking, hey, what's happening with AI? Are we going to have to look at AI as a different technology? How is AI going to integrate with CRM? Where are we heading with this? And as most of you have probably heard, they're calling AI the fourth industrial revolution, probably the most important technology advancement of the last decade. And now that it's so available, it's become quite a buzzword. So it's an exciting topic for us to cover. As you know, it's also a relatively new concept, so we are all still learning about it. But I am super excited that Salesforce has been innovating with Salesforce Einstein and including it in the platform as of last year. So again, we appreciate you joining us. For those of you that are new to our sessions, I want to remind you that on the control panel for GoToWebinar, you will find a section that says questions. In this section, you'll be able to enter your questions at any moment during the presentation, and we will be delighted to answer them. It may be that we park them for a little bit depending on the topic, and we cover them more towards the end. Or it could be that we address them immediately. We feel that they're going to enhance the content that we're providing at that time. Also, for those of you that are in attendance, you get the benefits of immediately being able to download our handouts. So if you go to the handout section, you will find a PDF document that reads Webinar, How AI is Redefining CRM Doble Group. You just have to click it, and that way you'll be able to download the material and have it for yourself or to share with your colleagues. And you also have a cheat sheet that we uploaded for you to take a look at, which has the latest products within the Einstein portfolio for Salesforce CRM. So you have that available. Some of you, normally want to know about pricing, what specific features are included in this version. You'll be able to see that directly on that document. So without further ado, we'll get started, and we invite you to ask your questions as we go along. We're going to try to make this as interactive as possible. And remember that all our webinars are recorded, so you will be able to share them with your colleagues as well after we've completed the session. So again, welcome to everyone that's taken the time to be with us. The first thing we want to talk about is about technology. And we continuously mention that it's evolving faster than ever. And it really is, and if you're on this call, you probably know that already. What we're looking now is that cloud computing, social media, and mobile devices are becoming more and more seamless in their interactions with each other. And now it's not just people that are connected, but also devices. It's surprising to know that 3 billion people are connected to the internet. 5 billion people are already using mobiles. And about 6 billion connected devices are already out there making a network of information and interaction that we've never seen before in history. But the good news is that is just the beginning. I mean, we're just getting started with artificial intelligence and what this will represent to our businesses and, of course, to the way that businesses get disrupted in the future. So being aware of these statistics is important because of the size of data that is now available out there. In the past, it was up to each company to source their information, and most of that information was based on transactions, in other words, invoices. Today with CRM, you're able to not only know what the customer buys, but also what their history is with you, how they behave, what they respond to, what they don't respond to. And this, of course, makes it much more relevant for sales, marketing, and customer service. So if we continue to pursue this concept of AI, I don't think many of you will be surprised to know that artificial intelligence is already changing your life. It's very much like the era of cloud computing. Everybody, considered cloud computing such a new concept. But was it really a new concept? I mean, cloud computing was nothing more than the access of a shared server through the internet. But of course, cloud computing sounded a little bit more sexy, right? So it's the same thing here. Artificial intelligence is really your ability to use the data that you have in an intelligent way. And because of the availability of self-learning machines and the interpretation of natural human language, this is now becoming easier to use. So don't think that artificial intelligence is a dream of the future. It's really here, it's all around us, and it's not there in a creepy way. And I say that because a lot of people kind of say, oh, but it's creepy because it's, you know, now analyzing everything that I do and everything that I think. Before I know it, I won't even have a job. You know, robots and computers are going to be doing my job. Well, that's not really how it's going to work. And we're going to talk about that throughout this webinar today. The fact is that most of us just don't realize the many tools, apps, gadgets, and services that are already making our life so much easier because of this artificial intelligence. And I think you guys can all relate to that if we mentioned Amazon. So you go to Amazon, you put in a few keywords, and all of a sudden, you know, products come out that sound like those keywords, but you also get products that are related to previous purchases. These advanced algorithms are really what started the whole movement with artificial intelligence. So, and Amazon's been doing this for years. Kindle's been doing this for years. Uber is doing it now. So it's already there, it's present. We just don't call it artificial intelligence because we can't tell the difference. So before we get started, we do want to do a quick poll. And in this poll, we're going to ask you a couple of questions that are very, very basic. Okay, the first question is if you've actually experienced artificial intelligence. In other words, have you identified artificial intelligence through the use of websites or social media or through PC or mobile applications? So we're going to ask you, please go ahead and select your choice, whether it is yes or no. Let us know if you feel that you've already, one way or another, have experienced some kind of artificial intelligence in your day-to-day lives. So I'm going to leave the quick poll up. I only have that 30% of you have voted. So I'm going to ask that more of you vote so we can have a better survey. Very good. I see 50%. Excellent. All right. Good. So I'm going to close the poll and I'm going to share the information with you. All of you on this webinar have said that yes, you have identified artificial intelligence either through the use of mobile, PC applications, websites, and or social media. So that just validates what I just said. It's already around us. We just don't call it artificial intelligence. I don't know if you've recently gone into Facebook, commented on a particular brand or product, and all of a sudden you get an ad. Well, you know, that didn't mysteriously just pop up. It's no coincidence. It's the use of these advanced algorithms to give you this information. Furthermore, you might have gone on Google later on and you would have searched something similar. And again, the same ads are popping up. This is because of artificial intelligence and these algorithms identifying your preferences and being able to track you wherever you are. So yes, it is present, and as I can see here, all of you, to one extent or another, have already experienced it. Now I want to get a little bit deeper in this, and I'm going to ask you another question. And the question is, if you said yes, which by the way, all of you said yes, tell us where you feel that you've experienced artificial intelligence. So you're going to see the pop-up again. It says if you answered yes to the previous question, please select where you've experienced AI. So whether that is applications or software, websites, social media, or other, let us know what you have found out there. Okay, this is very interesting. Okay, well, this is the first time I see it. So this group here is actually one of those that have been experiencing artificial intelligence in every medium. 100% of you said you've experienced it in applications and software. 100% of you say that you've experienced it on websites, and 100% of you have said that you've experienced it in social media. And again, what is this poll telling us? It's telling us that not only AI is available, but you know it's available, you've been experiencing it, and you've been experiencing it through different channels. And this is going to be an important part of our conversation today. You can't pretend that social media is the only outlet for you to use artificial intelligence. For you to deliver the right experience to your customer, you have to use it throughout every single outlet in your organization in the way that you speak to your customers. So having seen those results, I think we can move on and we can do a little bit more on this. So we want to share with you what Salesforce and what we have been researching and what we found. And before we do that, we do want to make a brief stop to define artificial intelligence. And in the most simplest way, we could probably say artificial intelligence is the concept of having machines think like humans. And I know that that brings with it, a certain level of reluctance. Well, what do you mean machines are going to think like humans? Well, truly what they're doing today is that they're able to perform tasks. It can actually do reasoning. It can do planning. And what's most valuable of all this is that it does self-learning. In other words, it starts understanding the results that come out of specific action steps or processes. And based on that, it starts predicting what is most likely to happen. So while no one is expecting parity with human intelligence, and that's not expected whether it be today or in the future, AI does have very big implications in how we live our lives. And we need to understand that the brains behind this AI is machine learning. And what this will do for us is going to make our jobs easier, and it's going to make our jobs much more productive. And you're going to see that employees and customers are already expecting this kind of experience. Therefore, they are really already anticipating that every business out there is somehow or somewhat using artificial intelligence. So what is driving this artificial intelligence movement? In other words, why is this taking place? What is happening that is making it available? Number one is advances in computing power. If you'll remember, the first computers that came out, even Mac, didn't even have the brain power of a calculator today. Today, through the cloud, you have access to infinite computing power. It's just a matter of how much are you willing to buy. The good news is that it's not as expensive as it used to be. Number two is the ability to store very large volumes of data in this cloud at a very reasonable cost. So before, even if you had access to all this information, you couldn't really capture it because you had nowhere to store it. And the third item that is playing a part is the access to advanced algorithms, is the ability of you no longer needing a data scientist inside the organization to build these algorithms, but rather buy them and acquire them for the uses that you need them. But the reality of this is that it will be more disruptive and powerful than any previous shift in technology. That means that we will be impacted by it, and it's a matter of whether we are spectators in this sport or we're participants in AI. So let's go into this path to a smarter world. And as I do that, I want to start this off with a video that I'm going to share with you. And if any of you are not getting the audio properly, please go ahead and indicate that in the question section, and we'll make sure to make any adjustments that we need to. So here we go. There we go. So I hope that gave you kind of a high-level view of what is out there and how this is going to be changing our lives. The question that I get from a lot of people is, hey, we're selling, we're doing great, and you have this great sales team, you're hitting your quotas, and you're automating your processes. By the way, this is not many of you, this is some of you. But the challenge that they're having is, how do we keep pace with our customers' uniquely evolving needs while staying ahead of the competition? So assuming you're in this world where you're saying, hey, but I'm doing great, I have a fantastic CRM, I'm hitting my numbers, my people are happy, my customers are happy, well, then the question becomes, are you staying ahead of your competitors so that you can maintain that position in which you're in today? And the answer to that question lies in technology, more specifically, artificial intelligence. And we're going to show you through the following slides that AI can actually improve your sales knowledge, improve the way you communicate with your customers, and actually optimize your best practices through workflows. And how this is happening now is because we're able to see finally the intersection of three key aspects of the process. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what those are. And here you can see that what we have is, and you can see it on the left side, we have smarter data models, meaning we're able to segment information and organize information in a way that we haven't been able to do in the past. Number two, we have that processing power. Remember we talked about this computing power? And number three, we have big data. Okay, so if we have smarter data, we have access to unlimited amounts of them, and we can process that a lot more powerfully and a lot smarter. Now that makes all this data usable. I remember the days when I worked at Verizon and we had these immense databases, but the reality is we didn't know what to do with it. We could only use perhaps a 0.1% of that data to make decisions and to, design campaigns. Today, with the processing power and the volume of data that's out there, not just the transactions that your customers are doing with you, but also what they're saying on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram, you have a much better feel of what those lifestyles are like. So this will inevitably have an impact on business. Artificial intelligence will be embedded into commerce, whether that be on your website, whether that be redirected through social media, or whether that be in your store. And that in itself will create new possibilities that go beyond the experience that we've been able to provide. And as this business world is entering this golden age of artificial intelligence, you're going to have that your customers and your employees are expecting to reap the benefits. Because if not, you're going to seem like you are completely outdated and that your business is becoming obsolete. So this is an important call for us to look at it. It may not be an initiative that you have for this year, but it definitely has to be on the table as you start strategizing into future years. So what are the 4 questions that I would urge you to ask yourselves? Number 1 is how much and how fast will your industry be disrupted by artificial intelligence? Okay, this is going to be important. How will artificial intelligence impact business operations and your strategy in the next 5 years? In other words, maybe this is not a problem that I'm going to have this year, but maybe this is a problem that I'm going to have next year. And if that is the case, okay, what am I going to do to plan, to budget, and to prepare my teams to adopt this technology? Number 3 is how will artificial intelligence affect employees, and how do we start hiring the people with the right skills to work well with artificial intelligence? Because as you can imagine, the skill sets that we're going to be needing are going to vary tremendously from what they've been in the past. And ultimately, if you're on this call, it's because you have some kind of relationship with CRM, which means you have to ask yourself the question, how will this alter the customer experience? Okay, so these are things that you need to start looking at. It's like thinking that Uber just created this great app and they intend to make no more improvements to it. We're seeing that that's not the case. We're seeing that your invoices are coming in so that you can expense your trips with Uber. We're seeing that Uber has now started to identify where you're using Uber the most, and then it's also correlating that to how many stars you've given that driver, so that if that driver happens to be close to you when you request it in the future, they'll give that driver the first option to pick you up. Again, because they also want their drivers to build a better relationship with you because you'll be more likely to use them. Again, how is this possible without artificial intelligence? It isn't. Okay, but it does not come without challenges, right? So what are the key challenges if we're looking into adopting this artificial intelligence? Number 1 is data. Do we have the data? Do we know where to find the data? Do we know how to organize the data? Number 2 is, do we have the expertise? Do we have the skill sets in our organization to be able to use this data smartly? Number 3, do we have the infrastructure? In other words, do we have the systems, the hardware, the memory, the processing power to be able to manage this data? And 4, do we have the context? In other words, how do we make our messages relevant to our prospects who are considering buying our products, or to our existing customers that we want to retain for the future? So these are the 4 key challenges. So as you look into your strategy and you ask yourself the previous questions, you're going to inevitably end up at saying, yes, I'm going to need artificial intelligence. The question really is when. So the next step in that process is to say, do I have the data? Do I have the expertise, the infrastructure, and the context? The good news, again, is that when you have Salesforce, they've already embedded Einstein into their platform. So as I started saying, customers are asking, what do I need to leverage artificial intelligence? Is it another app? Is it another company that I need to work with? No. If you're using Salesforce's CRM, it's already embedded there. If you're not using a CRM, then you know that Salesforce will already have it. So this is going to help you make a smarter decision going into the future. And how is Salesforce doing it? What they're doing is simply creating a predictive experience. That's at the core of Salesforce Einstein. It's how do I help my salespeople predict what leads are more likely to convert? How can I help my salespeople predict what opportunities are more likely to close? How am I going to help the service team identify what potential problems a customer is going to have before they have it? And how do I help my marketing team identify which customers are more likely to be looking for a product like the one that I'm offering? So these are all questions that you're asking yourself. The problem is you don't have the technology to do it. And if you have the technology to do it, the problem may be that you don't have the resources to do it. Okay, so as all these questions start arising, the answer inevitably is going to be, who has something that can help me, that is turnkey, that I can put to operate tomorrow? And that's really what Salesforce Einstein does. It makes this very complex process a much simpler process. And this is how it works. Basically, what Einstein does is it captures, the data in your system as well as the sentiments of your customer. And you're going to say, well, what are sentiments? How do I know the sentiments of my customer? Well, what Einstein does, if you're using social media, it looks at negative comments. I don't like, I hate, I dislike. Those are negative sentiments. And if Einstein's also reading your email, it knows when you're upset. Because if you're sending all caps saying nobody's getting back to me, all this information is being processed today. The problem is that it's being processed manually. So what really can you do with it when you're not seeing all these things happening in all these different places? And that's what Einstein does, captures all this information, which is called signals. Then it learns from it. It uses natural language processing, and it uses machine learning to build predictive analytics. In other words, okay, so if all the people that wrote a negative email about this product ended up not buying, it's going to say, wait a minute, we may need to take this product out, or we may need to review the pricing on this product. And what Einstein's going to do is going to tell you, hey, look at this product because this is the product that is generating the most negative sentiments. And finally, it's going to help you connect to your customers in a better way. What does that mean? It's going to be able to send you your customer the right message. So if somebody's on your website and they're looking at dresses and they happen to be looking at white gowns, when they end up leaving your website and they don't buy your product, you'll be able to track them again in Facebook and present your white gowns. And then when they go on Google and they search for white gowns, again, you're going to be the brand that appears. You're probably experiencing this already. And this is all thanks to artificial intelligence. And this is what we want to enable your business to be able to do. And remember, all this data is coming from where? From your CRM, from connected devices, if you're already using, your products are already connected to the internet, from your emails, from your social medias, and from your calendar. So this is all information that Einstein has access to because it's all somehow or another synchronizing with your CRM. So again, this is why this is possible today. So Salesforce Einstein is really integrated into the Salesforce platform. It's not another application, it's an add-on. So it's the same Salesforce you're gone accustomed to and you love, which now has more capabilities. So what are the things that Salesforce Einstein is seeking to do for you? Number one, it's going to help you sell the right product to the right customer at the right time. Okay, because it will see how you've interacted, it will analyze that, and it will predict when that customer is going to be looking for your product. It's going to help you provide customer service through the right channel and with the right agent. I'll give you a personal experience. I was in Uber. I requested an Uber in Miami when they started allowing Uber to go to the airport. Well, when the Uber actually got there, a cop stopped them and said that if they actually got me on the car, they would have to pay a fee, a penalty. Well, of course, there was a miscommunication between what Uber was telling us, the user, and what was happening at the airport. So I immediately went on Twitter and I wrote, Uber failed. I got the message, it did not work. Well, what do you think it happened? You think Uber ignored it? I didn't call Uber, I didn't email Uber, I just put it on social media. I immediately received a response with a contact to where to call and that they would be helping me out. And they did, and that converted a rant moment into a rave moment. I was like, wow, these people are everywhere. And that's the kind of experience you want to be able to deliver to your customers. And are you creating applications that take advantage of this artificial intelligence predictive power? In other words, when you decide that the CRM is not enough and you want to have your inventory on an app that's mobile so that your sales team on the field can see what's available before they sell it, are you able to build in artificial intelligence into that? So that by the time the sales guy gets to the customer, it knows that it's in that location, it'll see what products they normally buy, and it tells you, hey, we have these products available for you. So now we're selling the right product through the right channel at the right time. And this is the kind of feature, this is the kind of power that you're able to have with Einstein's artificial intelligence. It enables everyone to discover new insights, predicts likely outcomes to power smarter decision making, recommends your best next steps, and as if that was not enough, it actually automates your workflows. That means that if a salesperson or a customer service agent is taking, or a marketing journey is taking several steps continuously that are producing positive results, the system tells you, hey, you may want to automate this 5 steps in a row, because we're seeing that when you do these 5 things, the customer's actually buying. So the same way it predicts what he may not buy, it also predicts what he may buy, or when he may buy, which ultimately leads to meaningful relationships. Because we all know it's not just about having a relationship with the customer, it's more importantly making that relationship actually matter. So what, at the end of the day, are we enabling each customer to have with Einstein? Number 1, the ability to discover. Okay, what are people doing it? How are they doing it? And what data is available for me? Number 2 is giving you the power to predict. That means that based on what you're doing and the way you're doing it and the series in which you're doing it and the outcome that you're getting, Einstein can tell you what is going to work and what may not work. It's also giving you the power to recommend, saying, hey, this should be the next step, because in similar situations, this was a step that was taken that actually got this deal closed. Or if you're putting out their marketing journey, it may say, hey, you might want to eliminate these 3 steps from the journey because that's steering customers off. They're signing off when they're getting these messages, or they're unsubscribing when they're getting this type of messages. So again, it's going to help you be smarter about what you do and how you do it. And finally, it's going to help you automate. Like I said before, if the same processes are generating good results, it's going to make that the standard. But if you're taking steps that are not generating results, it's going to create the alert that you need so you don't continue to do the same thing. And remember I mentioned before that customers and employees are actually expecting you to have AI? Well, on a recent research done by Salesforce, 69% of employees expect AI to automate or assist them in work-related activities. So they are expecting AI to make their jobs easier and their lives better. So this is not about, whether they think it's available or not, it's that they're already expecting it. So it's not just your customer that's already used to all these experiences that you corroborated when you filled out that poll. It's also about the potential of your employees staying with you because they know you're a cutting-edge company that wants to have the greatest and latest for them and for your customers. So if we do a deeper dive in the sales, marketing, and customer service aspects of your processes, here's what we found. If you're a salesperson, imagine that you have an assistant that captures your emails, reads your activities, scores, and prioritizes your leads. Okay, I mean, you'd almost think that this is impossible, but it's not. Because if I see that I'm getting more emails from Mary, and she seems to be visiting my website more, and she seems to respond to my emails quicker, okay, and she seems to be more engaged in the process, the system is already going to say, you know what, Mary is more likely to buy. So that's going to help you focus on Mary before you focus on people that are less likely to buy. It also gives you information about your opportunities and accounts. I just gave you an example about a potential lead. What about an account? What have they bought? What have they not bought? How Einstein looks at what other companies that are similar to that one have bought and have not bought allows you now to make recommendations. So you can do better upselling and cross-selling. And this is the kind of thing that you'll be able to have with artificial intelligence. If you're a sales manager, it's going to help you have a more accurate forecast. And it'll help tell you if you're on track or not to meet your sales quota for the month or for the quarter, which of course is probably your main concern today, is making sure that my team is hitting their targets. So in general, you're going to benefit from the data that is being captured, analyzed, and being used predictively to help you organize and prioritize those accounts, contacts, and opportunities with the highest potential. And it will use digital assistants to tell you when you're missing out or when you are neglecting a customer. In this particular screenshot here, we can see predictive factors of Einstein on a lead. Okay, so it's saying, hey, the phone number is good, the guy's the director, so he's clearly the decision maker, they've downloaded the white paper, they've shown continuous interest in the cloud management service product, therefore, this customer here is more likely to buy. His name is Ron Ablin in this case. Okay, the same thing is going to happen with your opportunities. The same thing is going to happen when you forget to contact the customer. And by the way, the ability for Salesforce Einstein to tell you when you are neglecting a customer is not an add-on. That's already available in the Lightning version of your CRM. So if you look in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, if you're using Lightning, you'll see the assistant, and the assistant will tell you, hey, you have this opportunity that you haven't contacted in 3 weeks. Hey, you said you were going to call this guy and you didn't call him last week. So this is getting to the point where it's a real assistant. It's not just, kind of ballyhoo and advanced algorithms. It's really helping you in natural language do what you have to do. As far as service, what does it do for you? Well, if you're a service representative, imagine an assistant that proactively identify cases that have not yet occurred and is going to recommend solution before the customer even knows that they have a problem. Think about that for a second. I mean, because of the emails the customer has been sending and because of the cases that he's been raising and because of the interactions that he's having with you and the things that he's putting online and in social media, the system is reading and capturing all that, analyzing and telling you, hey, this customer is probably going to raise a case because of this problem. So imagine a world in which you're able to be alerted of that and you proactively call the customer and say, hey, we've seen through our research that you may be having this kind of issue, but I want you to know that we've already solved it for you. I mean, let that sink in for a second. That's a completely different level of customer service, and that's exactly what you're looking for. So practically with AI, you can anticipate customers' needs rather than simply reacting to them. It's being able to track that conversation, join it with every digital channel, and predicting what can happen with solutions that are actually going to help you solve the problem before it needs solving. Okay, finally, we want you to know that smarter service also allows you to identify risks of losing customers. So it's not just about this great experience, it's also preventing customer attrition. So you would be using this predictive intelligence to identify which customers have expressed negative sentiments about your company or your product on numerous channels very frequently. Therefore, you'll be given an alert saying this customer is not happy, the sentiments are negative, maybe it's time you give them a call, or maybe it's time you give them a coupon or a discount, or that you take some kind of special measure with them. Again, all these are things that we all wish we could do with the data that we have, but it's not going to be that easy without artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence is actually doing the work that we have to do manually today, even when we have CRM automation. And that's the true value here. If we take this down to the marketing department, What we're looking at is at a marketing department that has so much more insight at their disposal, but doesn't always know how to use this information intelligently. And the way that Einstein does it in the Marketing Cloud is by re-looking at your customer journeys and anticipating what message needs to be delivered at what moment and through what channel, so that you actually get the result that you're looking for. And this is what we call create predictive marketing journeys. You know, are you delivering the right content to the right audience through the right channels? And again, if you were to try to do that manually or even using the data that's already in your CRM, it would take you probably months to figure that out. If you're using AI, AI is already capturing the data, analyzing the data, and predicting what the customer is interested in. I'll give you a case, Vineyard Vines. Vineyard Vines uses Salesforce technology throughout their whole ecosystem. So you actually go to their website, you look for, you know, a t-shirt that happens to be pink and it's long sleeve, and the customer actually looked at it, zoomed on it, tried to buy it, but they didn't have his size. That same customer shows up at your store, and now before he actually walks in, he gets a geo-fencing message on SMS saying, hey, by the way, we have that pink shirt at the Vineyard Vine store across the street. How is this possible? Again, through artificial intelligence. And imagine that the guy actually walks in and says, hey, I've been looking for this product, and the agent takes a tablet, puts in their name, and finds the exact pink long sleeve t-shirt that he was looking at on the website. This is a cohesive 360-degree view of your customer, regardless of device, channel, or location. And that's what's being done today. This is a specific case for Vineyard Vines, and one that I'm sure many of you would like to see in your companies. The AI-enabled marketer will be able to, A, leverage smart scoring to predict each customer's likelihood to convert. Use predictive intelligence to segment audiences. So if I have 5 guys that are also looking for the same pink shirt, now I know that I have a group of people to whom I need to send a similar context, a similar message, or a similar discount when I actually do come up with the size that they need. It's going to help you automatically adapt the journey to each individual customer. So based on what the customer is responding to, artificial intelligence will help you extend that journey till it leads to a purchase. And it'll help you deliver the best next product, content, or offer every time. It's not about just getting it done one time. Oh, we got lucky. It's about making sure that we do this all the time. And finally, it'll help you send the right message at the right time when the customer is more likely to engage. Again, you can see a screenshot where sentiments are being analyzed for specific customers. You can see the smiley faces mean they're saying great things about my company. You can see the sad faces saying not such great things about my company, and then you can see others that are just neutral to our company. Of course, if I was looking at this in my company, I like to see all green, happy faces, right? Well, the reality is that we don't get there without taking care of those with the sad face first. And that's where artificial intelligence is going to be a major benefit to your company. So let's drill down now into some major benefits of AI. Number one, smarter awareness and acquisition. And I'm not going to go into each one of these bullets because somehow to this point we've covered them. But I just want to highlight that you'll have the ability to find your best customers. You're going to be able to target people that are not yet your customers, but that they have behaviors similar to your best customers, so that you can predictively identify these potential customers. And it will increase the offer relevance. In other words, it's no longer going to be, dear valued customer. It's going to be, dear John, thank you for visiting our website. We are sorry we didn't have the pink shirt in your size, but we're happy to tell you that it's available on these stores, and if you're still interested, we can ship it to you. See how the content changes to that specific customer? And those are some of the key benefits you're going to see there in awareness and acquisition. The second aspect of this is going to be, once you've acquired that customer, in onboarding and engagement. Now that he's your customer, you want to continue to offer content that is relevant. And you want to be able to adapt to their behaviors. So what are their optimal paths? What are the things that they're most likely to respond to? And are you making the changes that you need to, so that you don't end up sending the wrong message by mistake, because that's what you had already planned to do beforehand. So these are some of those benefits that you're going to see are going to dramatically change the efficiency with which you market your products. The third major benefit is retention. Okay, it's not good enough for me just to retain a customer. I need to make sure that he becomes a fan. He becomes an advocate. He starts recommending my product. Yeti is another great example, another Salesforce customer. You know, I love Yeti. As a matter of fact, I have a Yeti in my desk. I have a Yeti when I go to the soccer games. I have a Yeti everywhere I go. And, I tell my friends, this thing changed my life. Really? A cup changed your life? Well, it does. Why? Because I have cold water. I don't like, room temperature water. So I have cold water wherever I go, whenever I want it. So again, you're turning people that are just barely customers into advocates. And you do that through a better communication, a more interactive engagement. But for that engagement to be valuable to the customer, it has to be meaningful and it has to be relevant. And that's what AI enables for you. The second thing is it helps you build better communities. Once you have 2 or 3 or 4 customers that love your product, that have become your advocates, you want them to have a place where they share their ideas and how they're using your product and what your product is great for, and even, what things you should have. I'll give you another example. During the summer, I went on vacation with, 2 or 3 couples, friends of ours, and, of course, everybody had their Yetis, and not necessarily for water, I'll admit. And while we were at the beach, one of them said, wouldn't it be great if Yeti had like a floating, tray that we can put all our Yetis so we don't look like the Statue of Liberty holding up our Yetis? And, I don't know if anybody went up, but if they are fans of this community, they go in there and they recommend it, and Yeti's, is listening, and who knows, maybe that's the next product. So, this is the kind of power that you're able to have when you're able to recognize these conversations and these preferences from your customers. And furthermore, you can now start uncovering opportunities through text and image recognition. In the past, it was all about keywords. In the future, people are responding to videos and pictures. That's what people, it's been proven. If I put up a post on Facebook without a picture, it's going to have a lot less, reaction or engagement than if I have a video or I have a picture. So again, these are the things that AI is able to see, tell what pictures you respond to, and then it'll give you those pictures so that you get exactly the experience that you're looking for. So if I were to summarize all this, I think I've done it on this slide. Sales benefits, have your people spend more time visiting customer, not entering data. Predict the next best steps for your customers, and understand what they need and when they need it. For service, it's recommend a solution before a customer even asks. Offer cross-sell and upsells at the right time, and predict when things are not going to work before they actually identify the problem. In marketing, you can reach customers at the right time through those journeys. You're able to identify the best audiences for each campaign, and you'll be able to deliver the right content to the members of that campaign. For the IT team, it'll help you build applications with artificial intelligence already embedded into them a lot quicker, so that while you leverage our open source framework at Salesforce, you're able to now share artificial intelligence in the applications that you create. Again, I like giving examples. We have a customer in the auto industry. They're a Salesforce user. They're going to the next level. They're building applications. They want to be able to tell their customers when it's time to bring their car in for maintenance. That's not enough. Now they want to be able to tell their customer what accessories are available for their car. They're able to offer discounts. All this now based on what the customer is telling them. Imagine if this same app now had the power of artificial intelligence in it. Okay, it would be so much more powerful. And for those of you that are already in e-commerce, you want to be able to personalize a shopping experience. If you know people don't like red because they never look at red products, then make sure that when they land on your page, they only see the colors of the products that you know they already like. Empower your retailers with data-driven insights, to merchandise your products more effectively. Hey, these products that are in these locations are flying off the rack. So maybe you want to put those closer to the front when the guy walks into the store. And if that's giving you, good results, then put it in your store window so that the guy that's actually walking by your store walks in. So these are the kinds of things that we're seeing. And these are the kinds of things that we feel that, companies are going to greatly benefit from. Like I said at the beginning, it's not a thing of the future, it's a thing of the present, It's available now, and we invite you to learn more about it. So with that, I have concluded. I am going to open it up again for questions. Please feel free to share with us your questions. Like I said, there is a question section in the GoToWebinar control panel. All you have to do is click it, and in the text box, enter your question. I see a question here. Thank you, David. It says, can you highlight the key features of Einstein for sales and marketing? Okay, so without going back to the sales and marketing slides, let me just summarize it this way. If you are in sales, you're going to get your opportunity insights, meaning what opportunities are more likely to close or what you need to do to make them more likely to close. It's going to help you with account insights. These are the products your customer has bought. These are the products your customer has not bought. Here are products that you are likely to sell them because similar customers have actually bought them. You're going to get Einstein lead scoring, which based on the customer behavior, visits to your websites, downloads, interactions, emails, it'll start scoring them predictively and telling you which ones are more likely to buy. It's going to help you with Einstein automated contacts. So instead of you having to enter all the information, you'll be able to dictate that information, say create this new contact, and Salesforce will create this new lead for you. So those are, four of the features that you're going to get there. If we go to Marketing Cloud, you're going to be able to leverage Einstein Social Insights, which is going to help you have more information about your customers by analyzing their social conversation. This is what I was talking about, positive and negative sentiments, and then using those positive sentiments to convert them into fans and advocates, and using those negative sentiments to address it with them and make them feel better about them doing business with you. You're going to get Einstein segmentation, which allows you to do groupings based on behaviors. Today, when we do segmentation, what we end up doing is that we, sorry for that. Well, my apologies, I put my phone to charge. What you end up doing with Einstein segmentation is that all of a sudden, the groups based on behaviors are categorized in a way in which you can send them the right level of content. Then you have Einstein Journey Insights, which is looking at how you design your journey, what people are responding to, what they're not responding to, and then recommending what things to change. And of course, the best thing of all in Marketing Cloud is Einstein recommendations. Delivering the next product, content, making sure that it's giving you email recommendations. So these are the things that will be available to you in the Sales Cloud and the Marketing Cloud. Let's see if I have any more questions here. Okay, somebody's asking, what is the add-on cost of Einstein for Sales Cloud? So the first thing I'm going to tell you is the rack rate, in other words, what you'll find if you look online, it's going to be $50 for the Einstein add-on, and that includes opportunity insights, account insights, lead scoring, activity capture, and automated contact. So all 5 of those features will be included in the Sales Cloud Einstein add-on. Very good. Okay, I see one more question. How soon do you see adoption taking off in the Caribbean? So here's what I'm going to say about that. This is, like I said at the beginning, in its very beginning stages. The reality is that customers that are already using the free Einstein features are loving it. It's not 1 or 2 that have called me to say, oh my God, finally, I don't have to produce a report to know which leads I have not contacted. The system is telling me. So they're enjoying it. I have probably about 5 or 6 that are actually asking about it. They want to learn more about it. So I would say that within the next 24 months, it's going to take off rather quickly. If I were to say, what percentage of our base, I'd say first year, probably about 5% of our base will be adopting artificial intelligence. Within the second year, I would say probably about 20–30%. And in 3–4 years, I think people are not going to be able to live without it. I mean, you're just going to be way behind your competition if you don't. So I hope that's answered that question. I don't see any more questions, so I'm just going to go on and share with you guys some interesting promotions and offers that we have. If you do not have a CRM, we have a CRM implementation package called Quick Start that for $4,900 you can have your CRM up and running within 2 weeks. We have others, but give us a call. Let us know if this is something you're interested in. For those of you that are looking at the Marketing Cloud, we also have Pardo, which is a solution for B2B, and Marketing Cloud, which is used primarily for B2C. And we have plans starting at $6,500. Again, these are the implementation packages. Your license cost and all that will vary depending on how many licenses for how many years and all that good stuff. The third offer that we want to share with you is if you have the CRM or the Marketing Cloud and you need somebody to help you on the day-to-day changes in the system, create new workflows, help you migrate into a Lightning version, or simply have a help desk to guide your users when they need help. We have those services. They start at $875. So again, very affordable, easy for you guys to acquire them, and it'll help you tremendously in maximizing your investment in Salesforce. Finally, and this is brand new, I'm really excited about this, we just introduced our on-demand training program. Before, we had to travel to you to train you and your teams. Now, whether it be Sales Cloud Basics, Service Cloud Basics, or even admin, you can sign up individually. This is per person, and the programs go from 1 to 3 days. And we have an instructor with more than 5 years of experience, fully certified, that'll be training you and other people that sign up for that same session. So again, just an opportunity to share with you some things that we are excited about and that we hope that you'll take advantage of. We thank you again for dedicating these 55 minutes of your time this morning. We appreciate you being part of our webinar series, and we invite you to let us know through social media, whether that be Twitter, Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, YouTube, or SlideShare, if you want us to cover any topic in particular. We love getting your feedback. As a matter of fact, I would say that 60% of the webinars that we put out are based on what you want to hear. So we look forward to hearing from you on that. Again, we thank you for your time with Doble Group today, and we wish you a great afternoon or morning, depending on where you are. Thanks again, and have a great day. Bye-bye.